So after being in high-ticket sales now for multiple years and coaching hundreds of sales reps one-on-one, I've noticed this pattern where the guys that always make it the biggest in high-ticket sales are athletes. Like every single time. I've seen this so many times over and over again where the guys who make the most amount of money, 10, 20, 30K a month, are athletes. And the guys who stay stuck and can't seem to succeed are usually not athletes. They don't have a sports background. And myself, I have a sports background. I used to do swimming at a pretty high level. I used to train like 9, 10, 11 times a week at a fairly high level out here in Sweden. And I've used that and carried that over into high-ticket sales. And it's allowed me to make over $40,000 per month consistently in this industry. So this video is going to be about why that is and how you, if you're an ex-athlete or if you're an athlete right now, how you can use what you already have internally to do extremely well in high-ticket sales and why you should use that. Because the funny thing I see right now is a lot of athletes, they, at least from myself and a lot of people that I talk to, I used to have this kind of belief where like being an athlete and having the drive and hunger to do well as an athlete would not carry over into business, which could not be further from the truth. If you look at what makes a good high-ticket sales rep, someone who's going to make a lot of money in this industry, they have the qualities that an athlete naturally has. For example, when I was swimming like 10, 11 times a week, obviously I had discipline. I wake up 4, 5 a.m. every single day in the morning, go to swim, then go to school, then sometimes do a workout, like a gym workout midday, go to school for another couple of hours, and then go swim again in the afternoon. Obviously, that took a lot of discipline to wake up early in the morning, go to sleep on time. But not only that, as an athlete, you naturally learn how to treat yourself like a high performer, how to dial in your sleep, your habits, being consistent over time, eating healthy food. You learn how to just handle yourself as someone who's going to protect your energy, basically. If you want to do well in a sport, you need to eat healthy, you need to sleep properly, you need to recover. You learn all those basics, which is a huge, like massive, I don't think you get how big of an advantage that is over everyone else. Because most people don't have that. Most people that are brand new in high-ticket sales and don't have that athlete background, they need to learn that from scratch. They need to learn discipline, they need to learn how to actually dial in their sleep and things like that. They usually have a lot of things that are not in place in their life. If you're an athlete, like you 100% should use that, what you already have, because you will have such advantage getting into the high-ticket sales space. And here's another thing, is number one, okay, you have your energy dial in, you know how to like have discipline and those like basic things, but there's more to that, because as an athlete, you've learned to lead yourself. You've learned how to do hard things. You've rewired your brain into learning that if you do inputs, if you show up over time, you show up to these training sessions, whatever sport you're doing, if you're doing football or like me, you're doing swimming or you're doing whatever sport you're doing, you learn that if you show up and you do the inputs day in and day out, you're not seeing results right away, but you see results in the future. That trait and like that learning lesson and that belief that you can put in actions right now without seeing a result, but you know it's going to come back in the future, most important thing by far you can have. That I see people that I coach one-on-one, that those who make it versus those who make it, they just have that belief. They just can't put in actions over time without seeing a result, and they can have like a delayed gratification. That's what it is. And you naturally have that as an athlete, which is like you need to use that. If you're an athlete making less than 10, 15K a month, like I'm telling you, you can use that exact drive, the exact like ability, the skill that you have right now to put in work over time, be disciplined, stay consistent without seeing a result. You can put that into an industry like high-ticket sales without having to start an entire business and learn 10 different skills. You can focus on one single skill, put in the the personality that you already have, the drive and the hunger that you already have into the space, and you'll be making so much more money than you're making right now. Pretty much all cases. So I hope this makes sense. I'm not saying that if you're not an athlete, you can't do this, but I'm saying that as an athlete, you have a huge advantage, a massive advantage. And the funny thing is when I was swimming back in the day and I was like, I had so much kind of just drive. I was like, my standard was like very high for myself, you know, because I naturally would wake up early in the morning. I would naturally train multiple hours. That was just like who I was. So when I got to the point where I was like getting to the last years of high school, and I was at that point, I had like all of my time, energy put into swimming, you know? And then I got to a point where I kind of lost passion for it. I don't really like see myself going like elite with swimming and like making money from that and trying to become like the best in the world. So that's when I was like, I kind of lost for a bit, you know? I had this, I guess you could say like, I don't know if you want to call it skill, but I guess you could call it skill. I had this sport that I'd gotten pretty good at, you know? But I didn't see myself like going all the way through with that. And that's when I had all of this, which I think you naturally have as an athlete as well. You have all of this kind of energy units. You know, all this energy you want to like put in something because you're used to doing it like in your sport. But then it's like I got to a point where I was like, I don't see myself putting all this energy and like all this time into the sport anymore. And I had all of a sudden like 4 or 5 hours every single day that I didn't know what to do with. That I didn't know like what to put all that mental energy and all that physical energy into. And that's when I found out about, like, for me it was like entrepreneurship, making money online, and getting into high ticket sales. And for me it was like perfect transition, taking all that drive, hunger, discipline that I used to have into swimming, putting that into entrepreneurship, allowed me to see fairly quick success in the space. Definitely not easy. I definitely went through like challenges, having to like learn new skills and adapt, taking risks and things like that, being willing to bet on myself, being willing to invest into learning skills. For sure, it was stuff I had to like learn and go through. But I already had that base to set up on. And I naturally I just took the drive that I had in swimming and just like kind of converted that into high ticket sales, and was able to apply my kind of like obsessive personality, you could say, into this industry, and then see pretty quick success with that. That was my journey, and I've seen this so many times with guys that I coach one-on-one, like guys that have background of doing like football or doing swimming or doing these other things, and they put it into a vehicle like high ticket sales, where it's simple, it's one path. Like you're used to doing it. You have one sport you're focusing on right now, focus on one single skill, and you just put in that discipline and you absolutely crush it. I've seen this over and over again. So I hope this makes sense, this video, and if that's you, try it out. And if you want my help, apply down below for my mentorship. And if you have any questions, you may DM on Instagram, and I'll see you as always in the next video tomorrow. Take care. Ciao.